Hello and welcome to this video, and this will be looking at Litecoin and how I have been short-term trading this. I have the 30-minute time frame up, and this goes back to April the 1st. Of course, everything you do is within your own risk, own reward. I'll explain how I do this. It's really easy to do. And let's put a bunch of circles in representing where I have bought and sold within this market. The red color circles represent sells, and the black colored ones represent buys. So therefore, starting on the 2nd, and here is where the game started. And I sold some, price goes down. I obviously bought on both lower dips at the 2nd and the 3rd. But then the rally happened on the 3rd of this month. Well, everything is in the short term. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sell orders in a row to this point. And then a buy order just quickly after it went through. Now, this is an example here of, well, you have this big move up. This was a spot where, this was not cool because I totally missed the sell order that I was trying to hit. But that's okay. The market came down here, buy order. Another decent fall after that, and then, of course, as we can see, buying low, selling high. Now, I'm going to draw some lines amongst the highs and the lows. And the lines get a little crisscrossy for the big rally. But what I've done is I've used a red line and connected the points in which you move from the highs and then the lows. But overall, as we see in here, you buy on the lower end of this range, you sell on the upper end of the range. That's simply the basis of it. And again, how I'm doing this is always having my Litecoin worth the same amount of Bitcoin. So if my portfolio goes from 1 unit to 1.022, then I'm going to sell 0.022%. So if it goes from let me just get the number thing. Hang on. And if you take an example of, let's just assume you have 1 Bitcoin worth, and the market's rally, you see it's worth 1.023 Bitcoin. Then I'm going to sell 2.3 units, and it's going to be worth 100 after the transaction. And if it falls from this point, then if it goes to 97.2, then I'll buy whatever 2.8 units happens to be. So on sites like Bittrex, when I mean, let me just show you what the page looks like so I can give you a better example. And what I would do in here is I would make sure that I have no sell orders in place when I'm ready to place one. And what I would do is push maybe price, either the bid or the ask button, and then push max. So if, say, 1.0 was 1 unit or 0.1 or however it may be, but I'll use 1.0 as this example. If you see that after it's been doing well, you push price ask maximum, and it comes up to, say, 1.032, then I would simply just delete the 1 number and then when I put in the amount I'd want to sell for, which in this example would be 0.032 worth, then the number would pop in how many I would sell, and that's what I would look to sell. I like to look at the order book to see strategic places to sell as well, because very often I'll look at the difference of the bid and ask, and I'll just put in the best ask price I can. So if you have, like, say, a situation where it might be going 177 on the and 176 on the bid ask ratio, and it's off a bit, I'm just going to try to, if I say 17733 is a number, I'll go 17732. And then oftentimes I'll get the trade that way. If I'm looking to buy, Then what I'll do is I'll see at the price point that I'm looking to buy, so I'll put the price in, and then I'll put the amount in. Say again, if I'm doing 1 Bitcoin, I would put in 1. If I'm doing 0.1, I'd put in 0.1. A number would pop up on the screen for how many to buy. So then what I'd have to do, and I can do this in my head via subtracting, is subtract what your balance is from how many you need to buy from. So say your balance is, say, 15 Litecoin, which is well under 1 Bitcoin worth. But if it's worth 15 and it's telling you need to buy 15.6, well, then the subtraction of the two numbers would be 0.6. And that's how many I'd be looking to buy. Okay, now assuming your last trade was set in at, say, 175,832 Satoshi, or handle anyway. Now it's time to put orders in. So I'm going to put a buy order in first. And I know a lot of times when you're looking at charts and different indicators, you can find the perfect numbers. But I'm going to be looking to maybe go somewhere around a little over 172, and just pick a number sometimes, but a right one in the key area. And like I was stating before, I figure out using the example I shown how many to buy. So that's order number 1 executed. Then I'm going to put order number 2 in. I don't know why it did that, but so now I want to sell this one. Something in the near term, maybe somewhere around 179. 550 as an example. And see how many I need to sell for, and then my final order. And I generally don't like to put more than 3 in, because it's annoying on Bittrex to eliminate 4 orders at one time. It's just with a little message notifications, give 2 different windows pop up every single time saying, oh, we're going to do the job of removing it. Oh, we did the job of removing it. It's annoying. So I only like to put in 3 if possible. Then I'd put maybe in a okay one, like say 189. Do it much higher, and I'll show you how I do it after this for regular codes of where I don't have as big of a stake, and I'm looking for larger percent moves. So I put these in and then let the orders roll. Now, oftentimes what's going to happen is, say I'm near the computer and it's, say, 178,965. I'm like, man, maybe I'll just sell it now. And, you know, sometimes I'll often do that. But you want to make sure you get the nice gains that you are looking for, whether you're looking for short term or decent, whatever term you're looking for, and then just understand the mathematics the best way. So if I'm doing just a regular kind of code, I'll show you an example of what I like to do. And let's assume that we are talking about something that's, say, 2,500 Satoshi on your last trade. So now I'll put a buy order in, and I'm looking, I don't want to buy or sell unless there's at least, at bare minimum, 7 to 8% gain on the play. But when I'm putting an order in, I want to play this sort of like a bartering system would. Asking to buy it cheaper than you normally would, and of course asking to sell it higher than you normally would. So therefore, yeah, I'll buy this if it goes down about 7-8%, but I want to put an order in for like better than 10. Some codes are different depending on the situation and any type of things that you notice within its market. I'm going to go 2202 maybe. But if it happens to be like 2285 later on and I happen to be there, I just might take it. So now we need 2 sell orders. So I'm going to look at the exact same measure for the upside. I'll take a good 7% gain, but I really want to get better than 10. So therefore, I'd be looking for somewhere around the 2800 area, maybe go 2795, maybe go 28.25. And then I'm going to put a much larger one in. And I've only once had this one hit. This happened in the morning, thankfully. And I'll put an order in for like something monstrously, like say 4150. And again, if I got 1 unit, I'm going to sell what I need to get this down to 1. And then I'm going to have whatever tokens or shares that are remaining, coins remaining. I'm going to again sell this to go to 1, but I'm going to get a much, much better score on this one in here. So therefore, with like, say, Tron through the night, it had a huge move where it went way up and then way back down again. So I was able to get a decent sell order here and then a sell order up there, and then wake up and see that the price action was like somewhere back in here. I had a very good gain within that code. So that's pretty much how I do it. And then once the transaction comes in and an order is filled, I'll reset all the orders and then I'll work it on from there. And when you're looking at numbers, like I talk about the just quick basic math numbers I showed you here works. But if you're able to see situations, whereabouts around 4100 is there a key number? Maybe you see there's big Fibonacci at 4370. Well, then that number's too low. So just different things to look at. But if you're not even looking at that and just using the basic math and understanding what 7%, 10% means, the difference for waiting to buy a little bit cheaper at, say, well, 2200 from the 25. So buying at 22 rather than 23. All those sort of things as well. I'm going to quickly go on one more quick topic, which is the step-up progression method. And let's just assume that you're starting with one code and it's worth 0.10 Bitcoin. And what you want to do here is maybe set this up so that this number will gradually increase. So what you would do is I want to wait, say, for this thing to be at least worth 0.115 minimum before I will sell it. And of course you're going to be buying if it goes down, you'll keep buying it back up to 0.1. And then once it does that, I'm going to look to, when I buy back, for it to be worth 105. And then I'm not going to sell it again until it's worth 120. And then keep on working the game so that every single time you sell, each time the number would go up like 5 basis points, something like this, and so on and so forth. And then if you get it a very good score, and that's what I did with Tron actually today, after having a big rise higher and then able to get a good buyback, I made it go from 1 unit to 1.25 units basically. And that means it has a little bit more value towards it. And yeah, so then of course I didn't do it this method. I did it because when you're able to sell for like a monstrous gain, like I was able to, and then get an amazing sell-off, all because I was sleeping and I was unable to look at the market. Because when a market goes straight up like this and I'm there, as I showed on the Litecoin situation where I was selling, I'm most likely going to sell here, sell here, sell here, sell here, sell here, and that's fine. But if you can ever get the opportunity to pass on these sells to sell here, that's a much better situation. And then pass on buying here to buy down here. So if you could do that, that's just different ideas like that I've shared that I thought would be cool to do. Thank you for tuning in to this video and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.